What is up, everyone? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Scout Reports. Today I bring you an anime review, finally, of Kabaneri the Iron Fortress, episode 3. Man, it felt like it was just such a long wait for this episode because, it was the earthquakes in Japan that went on when the second episode dropped. And translators were still able to get the second episode out there. So we kind of saw episode 2 when we wasn't supposed to. And when it actually aired in Japan, it was kind of a rerun because we already saw what was going on. So now we're back at full stride with episode 3, and boy did it not disappoint. I just couldn't wait for this episode. And not counting Boku no Hero or JoJo right now, Kabaneri is fighting for anime of the season. I mean, I can definitely try to give it that crown right now. And what gives it the advantage is, Boku no Hero, JoJo, even ReZero. If you really wanted to, you can leave right now and you can go find the source and read the light novel. You can go read the manga and you can see what's happening beforehand in those series. Versus Kabaneri is completely original. And just the anticipation of having to wait every week to see what happens next kind of ups the factor for it with me as far as the excitement levels. I'm on pins and needles. I can't wait to get to next week to see what's going to happen next. I'm pretty sure this is mentioned before, but I think a side studio, Studio Ghibli, is also doing the animation. I know it kind of looked like it faintly, but I noticed at the beginning when they show the animation with that same little jingle like they had at the beginning of Psycho Pass, it shows a lot of the Studio Ghibli characters. So I wonder if it's like a side company of Ghibli that's doing the animation. Either way, they're doing an excellent job with this series. But you guys have waited long enough, so let's get down to the breakdown for this episode. So we start off right where we left off last week with Mumei revealing that she is a Kabaneri, which is a half human, half Kabane. And once she reveals that, the captain guy of this squad, Kurusu, his name is Kurusu, he immediately, just like always, points his gun at Mumei and says, well, you're a Kabane, so you're our enemy, so you must die. But of course, the beast queen Mumei, she's not having it, as she throws a kunai and blocks his gunfire that ricochets off for anybody else that's foolish enough to try to stop her right now, with her making her own declaration that if you see me as an enemy, then I'm going to kill you because no one's going to stand in my way. I'm really liking Mumei as a character right now. She is so beastly, and that's going to be my nickname for her now. Sometimes I might not even say Mumei. I might just say Beast Queen. So we get a little bit more as far as where we're going as a destination for this episode, as well as Mumei demands that the train go to a village that is owned by the shogun of the country, which is the strongest stronghold in the country, and that would be the safest place for them. So they're making off of their destination there. The people are still afraid of Ikoma and Mumei as well because they don't know what they are. They just think that they're a Kabane. And the people also start to be a little bit fearful and want to turn on these two characters. And this is where it gets interfered by Princess Ayane, who basically has to explain to these people that these two people are the reason why we're still alive right now. Why are we hating them? Why are we treating them like the enemy? While she's trying to break things up, Ikoma also tries to foolishly step into Mumei's way by saying, yes, we're Kabane, we're here to save everybody. You know what? I can make all of you Kabane too. How about we do that? So that made him look more scary and more like an idiot to everybody else. And as he tries to go forward towards Mumei, she breaks him down like some fractions and puts him down to shut him up because he's talking foolishness right now. And she agrees to go to the rear of the train to ease the fear of everybody else that they have for them until they get to their destination. We get a lot of backstory in this episode, as well as Mumei and Ikoma are in back of the train, and at the back of the train we learn some things about Mumei. The scarf that she wears on her neck is kind of a limiter, just like how Ikoma has, and whenever she takes off the scarf, that gives her the ability to use her Kabaneri power at full strength. However, if she fights in that condition for too long, she gets tired. With that being said, she wants to train, probably against his will, Ikoma to be her backup or as her shield. And she just pretty much wrecks this guy the entire episode. He goes through a little bit of tough love training. And with that being said, she also reveals that if the scarf is off of her for too long, the virus will continue to spread. And if it spreads too far, it's more likely going to take over her body as a whole. So we kind of saw that same method with Ikoma, with what he did by choking himself, and thus he became a Kabaneri as well. As far as the people on the train right now, they're all doing their own things. You got people hanging outside the train while it's moving, trying to prepare the damage that it sustained from the Kabane. Also, the people on the train are being handed out rations, and everybody's only getting like one ration a person, but a particular lady actually got two because it finds out that she's pregnant. So she got two rations, and people weren't too happy about that, as well as one of the people on the coach actually tried to attack her after finding out that she had two rations. This caused Mumei to run out and break up what was going on with the lady, because she felt a strange presence. Though it was more like she didn't go out there to save her, it was more like she felt the presence of something. As far as Ikoma goes, we get a little bit of backstory with him as well, as he had a nightmare about when his sister, as we found out, was killed by the Kabane. But also, when this happened, when his sister was killed, for example, he keeps that little stone in his hand that we noticed as a half of a stone that his sister had as well. And it's kind of like a promise that he made, because at the time that she was attacked by the Kabane and she was killed, he ran away and tried to get help, but it was really because he was scared, and he used the facade of trying to find somebody to help to mask the fear that he had. But when he got back to her, she was already dead, and she was turning into a Kabane already. And at that point, he had to use a suicide bag to kill his own sister. So he holds a lot of regret for that, because he felt like he could have did so much more to save her. But that also gives him the strength, or his declaration of what he wants to do to try to find a way to stop this virus, or to find some way to kill these Kabaneri or the Kabanes, and to save people overall, because of the weight that he holds on his heart of what happened with his sister, and just the ability not to do more than he already did. We're also introduced to a few more people in this universe as well. For one, that the village that they're going to, Princess Ayane's uncle is over that village, so that gives them a little bit of weight as far as getting in. However, overall, the people are feared that they won't be accepted into the village, because it's one of the most heavily guarded places in the land. So I'm pretty sure they have some pretty strict criteria with getting in there. Something else that I want to point out is, for this series to be so good, the characters aren't really that likable, which is weird, because I really enjoy the story, but I hate some of the characters. I mean, the people overall, no matter how many times Mumei and Ikoma put their lives on the line right now to save them, people are still scared of them. People are still, want them off the train, or don't want to be associated with them. You got this, I keep forgetting his name, I'm gonna butcher it until I finally learn it, but you got this Kurasu guy, the guy with the gun, the main guy. He's always ready to kill no matter what, no matter how many times these people are stuck their necks out for him. They have to make a stop because the trains run out of water, and these trains run out of water. We get introduced to this guy who speaks half English, half Japanese, and he's fluent in both, so that was pretty cool. But while people are praying and mourning the loss of everybody that they lost, including Ayane, who lost her father back during the Kabaneri attack, it's one guy who was basically like, I don't know why they're praying. Praying is not going to bring them back from the dead. And one of the other people that's with him was like, she lost her teacher as well, so she can understand why they're mourning, and she kind of gives him a bad time about it, like you're being an idiot right now. These people are taking their time to mourn their people, and he's just so nonchalant about it, like, well, it's not going to bring them back. And even when she says that I lost my teacher, he's like, well, were you really close with this teacher? I mean, the people are really creeps, and like a lot of these animes, especially the stories and literature in general, are always showing how evil and how uncaring human beings can be, especially when it comes to the fear of the unknown. We also get a little bit of a step up, or a characterization for Ayane in this episode, as she notices that everybody is so in fear of all the Kabaneri right now, as she does a public display where she takes a knife and takes it to Ikoma, and she kind of questions him publicly, like, why aren't you attacking me? Why aren't you biting me? This is here where he gives a declaration that he wants to help people. He wants to find a way to stop these things. He wants to find a way to cure people. Overall, he wants to destroy all the Kabaneri. Attack on Titan much? I mean, that just sounds straight up like out of Eren Yeager, but I'm not worried. This series is better than Attack on Titan. I went there again. It is. But by him doing that and showing that he had some type of restraint and control not to attack Ayane at this point, it kind of made the people ease down a little bit. And that's explained to her inside the cart as he goes inside the cart with her to explain a little bit more detail that, you know, he's here to help and he wants to help, and he passes out from, I think, either the blood loss or probably just from all the stress that he's encountered from everything that we've gone through, because this has been a pretty hectic trip for him so far. Also, while this is going on outside where people are paying their respects and praying, we find out that the pregnant woman who is hunching over and she has like the gold veins and the glowing coming from her chest. So is she a Kabaneri? but wait, it gets worse. This is where we find out that she is actually a Kabane, as people are running in fear. She's going around in the zombie stupor and she's a full Kabane going on a rampage right now. Seeing this happen, Mumei goes in, just wrecks her with no regard, just kills her right there on the spot with no hesitation. But as she does that, someone screams that she was pregnant, as we kind of get a glance at Mumei's face where I don't think she felt sorry that she killed the lady for being what she is, but if she would have known she was pregnant, she probably would have tried to do something for her. And this further goes along and confirms that when she came off of the back of the train earlier because she felt the presence was probably this lady was changing into a Kabane all along. So it might be a little bit of regret for that, because maybe she could have did a little bit more for her. But it doesn't stop there, because as we see that the pregnant lady is a Kabane, we go back to the train with Ayame and Ikoma, who's now waking up from fainting or whatever he did, and his eyes are bloodshot red as he's walking towards her, stumbling like a zombie as well. You see, Mumei mentions that Kabaneri still need blood, just like the Kabane. They don't necessarily need food. It's the blood that gives them what they need to survive. So they're still susceptible to being very dangerous to people. And as we get that reveal, Ikoma pushes Princess Ayane over and mounts her as he's going in for the bite at the end of the episode. And that takes us off on a cliffhanger. Whew. Lead us into that beautiful ending by Egoist and Amir, two of my favorite Japanese singers or groups or whatnot. And boy, what a cliffhanger we get there. I mean, I'm pretty sure we don't have anything to worry about. I know that nothing's going to happen to the princess because she's a central character, and also our main character is not going to stay in that form. It's just exciting to see where it's going to go from here. And that's what excites me the most about this series, is that it's an anime original and it is fighting for anime of the season right now. Not counting JoJo, not counting Boku no Hero, as I've said. It's neck and neck with ReZero right now as far as being anime of the season with me, as far as the original content alone. But you know what gives this the advantage, as I mentioned before, is that this doesn't have a light novel. This doesn't have a manga, so I don't have a source to go back to see what's going to happen next if I really wanted to. I got to wait it out like everybody else on anime onlys just to see what's going to happen next week, and that just builds the excitement that I have for this season, or this series in particular. And it's past the 3-episode test. I know it's a little bit late, but it definitely passed, as all 3 episodes were excellent. So even if it does take a dip in quality, I don't think it's going to completely fall flat on its face. We still got a couple episodes to go before we determine that, but I'm really confident that this series, as I will say again, is better than Attack on Titan. So I'm strapped in for the ride. I can't wait to see where it goes. And the only thing I can hope for right now, I hope it doesn't give us a cliffhanger and doesn't come back for another season. Or maybe they'll wrap everything up this season. We'll just have to see. I think it only has 12 or 13 episodes, so that might be too short to come to a complete conclusion. But by this being an anime original, hopefully it gets popular once it comes over to the States. And then that can help further boost, and I hope it's doing good in Japan, so that can further boost the sales or whatnot that this show needs to keep going. Because if it's not going to get wrapped up, it'll definitely need another season. I hope they don't keep us waiting too long. So yeah, that's it for the Scout Report, and that's all I have for you guys today. And be sure to join me tomorrow as we bring things back full circle, as the hype begins again Friday with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as I'll bring you the review for that. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. If you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as I continue to bring you guys content every day right now, especially with how this season is going right now. As I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me, and I really do appreciate that because I'm on the West Coast. So by the time my videos come out, you guys could have already watched 10, 20 other people's review of this right now. But it's something about me that brings you in and get you to watch my video, and I love that you do it. So thank you all for your support that you've given me so far. I hope you continue to. And if you're just stopping by for the first time, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I can guarantee that you won't be disappointed as I continue to bring you more and more. So yeah, that is it for the Scout Report. Thank you guys for joining me today. It's your boy Infrar-Ed signing out. See you soon.